Hey everybody, John Murphy with CSSI. I hope you're doing great. I wanted to chat just for a minute about tunnel car washes. Um, I've had a hunch for a while after talking to different CPAs, and a lot of times they will just take bonus depreciation. They'll mark it like in 2024, it's 60%. So they'll just mark that on the depreciation schedule and say it's not worth doing a cost segregation study. But in a tunnel car wash situation where the tunnel car wash has special class life designation as 15-year class life, it's considered a land improvement. Why wouldn't you do a cost segregation study? Because you're likely leaving money on the table. And one of the things that I've been trying to wrestle with is how do I show that? How do I even begin to calculate that? Because it's very difficult to do that. So anyway, I engaged with somebody, talked them through what I was trying to wrestle to the ground and see if we could prove out with a model, which we have since done. So we have created a calculator, a financial model that will help this work both for tenant improvements as well as for tunnel car washes and probably also with C-stores as well, gas stations, to be able to squeeze everything out and be able to show it in a definitive manner for the owner and for the tax professional to be able to look at and decide, does it make sense to spend $7,500, $7,000, $8,000, whatever it is, right, on the cost segregation study to get that done. So I went through and I've run the numbers, and I published something here just recently on that so that you could take a look at that. But the numbers basically are this. Let's just say, tunnel car wash gets sold for 4.5 million. New owner takes it over. It's on an expensive piece of ground, so they put maybe $1 million towards the land. 3.5 million is the basis. If the CPA just takes that depreciation at 60%, that's 2.1 million. So the remaining balance, 1.4 million, will be depreciated over the next 14 years, right? But in that 1.4 million, roughly about half of that is likely 5-year class life property. And so you're basically leaving a big piece of your depreciation that you could take earlier in the life of the ownership and just letting that kind of bleed out, I like to say, over the next 15 years. So those numbers, just so you know how that looks on a $3.5 million cost basis, I think that owner's leaving probably close to $130,000 to $150,000 in tax savings on the table by not doing a cost segregation study. And that's after paying the cost segregation study. On top of it, in a cost segregation study, you're going to delineate and reclassify everything into its proper class lives. So you'll get a report and it'll show everything that's your 5-year, your 7-year, 15-year, et cetera. Then when you go to sell the property, let's say you're going to sell it 6, 7, 8 years from now, you can go through and try to figure out, right? Again, this isn't tax advice. You got to talk to your own tax advisors, see if this is how you handle recapture tax. But you might be able to make an argument that there's a diminished value that needs to be placed on a bunch of these components because they're no longer worth what they were when we put them into service in 2024. Okay? It gets used. It gets beat up. It has to be replaced. A lot of the stuff in the car washes are going to have to be replaced if it hasn't already. So that will also save you on recapture tax. And so those numbers, those multiples are another 2 to 3x. So it can be significant. It's a significant loss potentially if you don't do a cost segregation study. So anyway, if you have a tunnel car wash 2024 and you haven't done cost segregation, you weren't thinking about doing cost segregation, reach out to me. I'm happy to run the model for you, to share that with you so you have it. You can have the information. You can talk with your CPA. I'm happy to talk with them as well. I work all over the country. My name is John Murphy. I work with CSSI. This calculator that I built was just mine. It's not the company's. And I just use it for example purposes so you guys can try to make better decisions. Happy to chat with you. I run a blog at costsegbuilding.com. Connect with me on LinkedIn. Find me on the socials as well. Happy to chat with you anytime. Take care.